And welcome back to Janky AF and Year of the Aerostar, episode number 94. This is basically a part 2 to number 93, but it is a unique Aerostar. If you haven't watched 93, I would say these two back-to-back would certainly be a good pairing. That was a red 1997 Sport, standard length, and it was in Pelham, Ontario. I guess we'll introduce the vehicle now. Here we have a 1992 Ford Aerostar, listed in Pelham, Ontario, for $9,975. Now, quick conversion, because we are in Ontario, Canada, that's $7,456.45. Still a hefty price. Only 78,000 kilometers on this vehicle. Let's do that conversion. 48,466 miles, almost 67. So under 50,000 miles on this beautiful Ford Aerostar. Now, last one was a 97, or so it claimed. According to Wikipedia, the Aerostar Sport was only made through 96, and it started in 92. If it is indeed a 97, and we did some Aerostar sleuthing, you could go back and watch. We thought maybe it was a 97 indeed because of the taillights, and the grille was not painted, and all the grills and headlight bezels are painted on these Sports. So that was weird. We surmised that perhaps Ford just got lazy or ran out of painted panels, and so maybe it was indeed a 97, that or it had suffered some sort of accident, was replaced with normal ones. We don't know. However, if we take for granted that that was indeed a 97 Aerostar Sport, this is a 92 Aerostar Sport. Now, 92 is the first year the Sport was offered, so we have just a wonderful duality here, a wonderful pairing, both in the same color. The last one was standard wheels. I don't say, it's not wheelbase, it's length. I almost say wheelbase because that's what everyone says. Same wheelbase, 119 inches approximately. This one is an extended length Aerostar. So first year extended length, last year standard length, both in red, both Sports, both in Pelham, Ontario, and both being sold by the same person. We're not sure if this is a dealership or not. I had an inkling that it was the same person just because it was in the same location. The writing style of the listing was very the same, and now that I've looked into it, it is indeed the same person. So they have two wonderful Aerostar Sports for sale. What I would do, if I had the money, was I'd go up and try to make a package deal and get them both and save a couple $1,000s. That's what I would do. And if anyone does do that, please let me know. I'd love to get in touch and maybe drive both of them. So there you have it. Let's get into the description. About this vehicle very quickly. First, 78,000 kilometers, around 48,000 miles, automatic transmission, exterior color red, interior color gray, fuel type is gasoline, and it says it's in very good condition. I would certainly say so. Seller's description: great van, all caps now, XL Sport. I think it's actually, well, the last one was an XLT. This one seems to be an XL. Funny enough, the XL, which is supposedly a lower trim level, has the alloy wheels. Now, the last one had the hubcap, so just another great little difference between these two. Long van. Hard to find one this great shape and clean, all caps. Air and heat, everything works as it should. Ready for, all caps. Now, take the caps lock off, you to enjoy. Ready for you to enjoy. Great paint, great inside. Okay, so very funny writing style here. One of the strangest writing styles I've seen on a marketplace listing. Sort of just like riding this wave of excitement and non-excitement, and it's very poetic in the way that they hit the return key or the enter key to go to a new line. Very stylized, so I appreciate that. Very hard to find any Ford Aerostar, all caps. Okay. Now, the funny thing about this, the reason I found these two listings was in a marketplace like Aerostar Group or a Facebook Aerostar Group, and they had a very funny line, and I think I screen grabbed it, and I'll try to find it. But I thought they said I thought it said in here, everyone is looking for the Ford Aerostar or something to that effect. And that was the line that really grabbed me. It was like, this is so hilarious. Like, are you just a salesman and you're projecting this, or do you really have knowledge or some sort of information that leads you to believe that actually everyone is looking for a Ford Aerostar right now? Maybe they know something that we don't, or maybe this sort of like bubbling enthusiasm for the Aerostar that we've been hopefully trying to generate here, along with many, many others. And Janky, do thank you to all the people who have commented on these videos and chimed in and emailed me. Like, obviously, I am not the only one. Obviously, there's a fervent Aerostar community out there, of which I am, just a humble, rank and file member. But maybe, maybe this year will truly be the year of the Aerostar and these things will start popping. The values, or at least the price tags on these things, have certainly gone up, that's for sure. We've seen multiple Aerostars now over $10,000. And they used to be, just a few hundred to maybe a couple thousand. So as all cars from the 90s and older cars go up in value, the Aerostar is certainly no exception. But maybe, it'll start to really get some press. Now, in the last few years, Doug DeMuro sold an Aerostar on Cards and Bids. He has still never reviewed one. And I keep saying this, I'll do a video on it sometime. I actually have an email exchange with Doug DeMuro talking about my 1986 Aerostar back when I was in Buffalo and he was in Philadelphia. And unfortunately, it never happened. That would have been amazing if he had reviewed my Aerostar. To date, he's never reviewed an Aerostar. I hope one day, maybe if he hasn't reviewed one the next year or two, I could drive my 93 out there to him. However, he did sell one on Cards and Bids. Haggerty wrote a great piece on the Aerostar, which I also have to do a video on. And so, it's gotten a little bit of a bump, a little bit of, some notoriety, shall we say. But I would say certainly still far less than the Astro and just minivans in general. A lot of people still don't know it was offered with a manual transmission. Shout out to Ronnie, 1989 Aerostar. He's certainly done a lot of work to further the cause of the Aerostar. He's maybe like one of the preeminent Aerostar people on social media, on Instagram, and he has a great selection of merch. So go buy some of his merch. I just bought a keychain from him. Anywho, we're getting sidetracked here. I hope I can find that line and find that screen grab. The other thing I'm noticing now, before we go through all the pictures, is on the last Aerostar, one of the weird things was the grille or air dam was not painted red, or the headlight bezels. And I wanted to show that, in contrast, this one was. Now, for some reason, it seems like they've tweaked this post, because that line that I remember is no longer there, and there's no direct front shot of this Aerostar. Now, here's a wonderful shot of the back. Maybe that'll even be like the cover photo. I rarely use the back of the Aerostar as the cover photo for Year of the Aerostar. But then again, this side profile shot's so good, I'll probably have to use that one. However, just looking at it now, I can safely surmise, because if you go right here, we can see that these headlight bezels, which are normally chrome, are painted. So that sort of gives it away that this does have the red paint going on in the whole front grille air dam headlight situation. The alloy wheels certainly look very nice, and this is sort of a rare bird. Now, I gotta say, I really want an extended length Aerostar. I don't really have a preference between extended and standard in terms of, Aerostars at large, but in the sport package, I do prefer the shorty or the standard length. It just seems more sporty, quite honestly. I like the Sport in an extended, but I got to imagine they're more rare, which is a good thing if you want to get one. But they do look kind of funny to me with this running board and then this long tail going back. And because on the front, you do get a little bit of like a little sportiness on this little piece of diffuser here, but on the back, you don't get anything that drops down to meet the level of the running boards. So it's kind of funny how much higher this rides than the running boards. Now on the standard length, it cuts off right about here, so you don't really like notice it that much. But on the extended length, it is quite funny to see that in a sport guise, but cool nonetheless, for sure. So working around now again, we'll see this. Another thing that I noticed, which in that 97, now the bumpers, it's hard because, and it's another one of these things, and I talked about this last episode, they're always making little tweaks and changes to the Aerostar. For a long time, they had these bumpers that had, you know, like, they have these two indentations naturally, but they painted this whole middle section a separate color. You see this a lot on early Aerostars, and this being a 92, I believe like the first year of the modern interior, the bumpers were still kind of like a holdover from the original Aerostars, where a lot of them had this like sort of secondary color in there. Sometimes just the strips themselves were painted, the two little cutout. See if I can find a better angle here. So you can see there's this little indentation. There's these two little grooves in the bumper. But on these ones, and actually my 93 Aerostar Sport is like this, the whole strip starting and ending at these two little indentations is all black as opposed to the gray. So it's a little busier. I don't mind it. I kind of like it both ways. You know, that one we looked at in last episode, I do kind of like the all silver grille. It's just simple and it gives the two-tone, that like real full contrast without a tertiary color being in there. But I kind of like the little black inserts too. It goes with the sort of pad on the running board here, and it just adds a little, you know, extra little shot of color and detail in there. So that's another difference between these two Aerostars. The bumpers are slightly different as well. So it's like in every single, I mean, the color's the same, but other than that, every single possible variation you could have in a sport model, you kind of have. So that's kind of cool. Okay, we'll see the back one more time. Just, I mean, you know, I love head-on shots of the front and the back because you really just get to see, you know, like the essence of the Aerostar. It's not often you see it in this perfectly straight head-on shot. And again, you know, we talk about the front of the Aerostar a lot, but the rear of the Aerostar also, you know, I like that the license plate holder is wide enough to put a European plate in there. Now, maybe these were sold in Europe and I just don't know it. Your taillights, again, another difference. The 97, they got rid of this amber. Now, this is very weird too. Wow. So I could have sworn that the amber was in the middle. This is how, quite frankly, fried my brain is. Because on the last ones, I almost want to go back and look at this. You just have, I believe, 3 bars of white and then however many bars of red this is. Here we do have the amber in there. And I like the amber. I like the amber in there. It looks, I just think the ratio of the 3 to the 2 to the 5, I believe it is like sort of really cool how it gets broken up. And the black strip on the bumper. Again, just so many lines. Like how many horizontal lines can you count on this vehicle? I mean, you have your top roof line, then you have your window seal line, your bottom window seal line, a crease line that will run all the way down the side of the Aerostar and then gradually bend over. You have the top of your license plate bar, the bottom of your license plate bar, every single one of these 10 little horizontal lines in the lights. You have the Aerostar logo and Ford logo that creates another horizontal line. Second body crease, that's a horizontal line. And then you have, well, however many pinstripes there are, at least 2, even though this is many pinstripes right here. So you have all these horizontal lines created by the pinstripe. And then you have the bottom of the tailgate, which is another horizontal line. And then you have the top of the bumper, the first indentation in the bumper, the second indentation of the bumper, and then finally the bottom of the bumper. So it's just like so many horizontal lines. And the fact that they're all running, you know, pretty much parallel, it's just really cool. It's like sort of a very 80s, 90s thing. And again, for how simple the Aerostar is as a design, you realize just how much texture and detail there is. I love how these 2 body creases, you know, you see them on the side and they look fairly random, but when they wrap around to the back and go all the way around to the other side, you see that they perfectly encapsulate that taillight space and then the license plate holder, and then they leave just enough room at the top for your rear window to go in there. Like everything is so well thought out and everything works so well from the side to the rear to the front. Like it's cool. You have to think about these things. If you just draw a line across the car, well, how is that going to correspond to where the badges are going to go, to where the license plate holder is going to go, to where the lock's going to go, to where your decals are going to go. So these 2 little creases in the Aerostar give it so much character and depth. So that's a little, you know, design philosophy there. I mean, This may actually be, I'm wondering if this is the same picture. I think this is the same picture as the one we looked at yesterday. It looks like the exact same picture. I mean, crank windows, the console's there, this little mirror is the same. I wish I could see the odometer because I swear this is the exact same picture as on the other Aerostar. Even like the foot pad and the wear and your little debris and stuff here looks the same. Like, I think they just took this picture. That or the other Aerostar is actually this one, but it's hard to say. So I guess when you got two of them, you just take a picture and they look the same on the inside anyways. On this one, we do get to see some pictures of the rear, which the other one didn't have. And honestly, this is weird. This is, you know, I'll say, I didn't want to say this, and I'm not going to reveal the name of the seller, but they don't have the greatest amount of stars on, you know, in terms of their rating as a seller. When I look in the back here, this looks like a standard length Aerostar. You know, there should be way more room behind that back seat. So, boy, Aerostar sleuthing, you know, like the lights are flashing now. It's nice to see the interior of the other one, but we're an episode late here. And I do love these gray seats. I said it last episode, I like the two-tone, but I like how this is, you know, as close to monochromatic as you can get. Obviously, the material is still different here, but the gray on gray looks absolutely fantastic. I really like the gray interiors on these scenes, on these things, in very, very nice condition. But this is definitely pictures of the, you know, non-extended Aerostar. Now this one, I don't even know anymore. This could be, maybe they're in the extended one now. Headliner in very, very good condition. And we see a random undercarriage photo, but again, we're not sure which one this is. Looks in fairly good condition. You know, it's been greased up. That's good. Seems like it's whatever lubricant they shot on there has held up pretty well. Can't see much rust, but again, like, I want to see some more pictures. So I'm not trying to be critical here, but they have these two absolutely pristine Aerostars, but it's funny because from one listing to the next, we can't really tell what's what. All the more reason to just buy them both, quite frankly. Just very, very curious. So some seller has both of these Aerostars, both sports, both red, but bookends of the sport models and in different body length styles. So very, very curious, very, very interesting. A true mystery. If I had, you know, the time and resources, I would be driving up to Pelham, Ontario right now to go talk to this person. And, you know, the great thing about an Aerostar, and they said this in the ad, it said one of the things it can do is pulling its own weight.
Pulling its own weight.
And they have a picture of it pulling a boat. And quite literally, the Aerostar can pull its own weight. It can actually pull more than its own weight because I believe it only weighs like, it's actually, 3,600 pounds or something like that, which by today's standards is pretty light. And you can tow 4,800 pounds or 4,800 to 5,000 pounds. 4,800 to 5,000 pounds. So you could buy one of these Aerostars, rent a U-Haul trailer, and load the other Aerostar onto the trailer and tow it home. Now, would that not be, you know, a fantastic image? If anyone's out there considering buying an Aerostar, or you just want to buy some classic cars, I mean, this would be perfect for like the Triple F collection. Like, please, you know, for a modest budget of $20,000, you can get two classic cars and you'd have the story of a lifetime because you can go buy one, put it on the trailer. I think it'd be funnier to trailer the long one with the short one. It'd look kind of funny, but it'd probably make more sense to trailer the short one with the long one. And that'd kind of look cool with the short one as your little caboose and your long one as sort of the engine. But how great would that look? Now there is a picture out there of an Aerostar pulling another Aerostar, which is very funny. But you can do it. I mean, you can't say that with, I guess any car that can tow can probably tow more weight than it can carry. But with a lot of cars anyways, the idea of being able to tow another version of the thing you're driving is just very, very cool. So that's my little mental fantasy going on right now, is just buying both of these vehicles and towing one home with the other. That would be so cool. And the fact that they're the same color and both sports, what an adventure that would be. So there you have it. Very, very strange. A lot of sleuthing to do here and figure out what exactly is going on with these pictures. I'll see if I can't find that screen grab. I wish I had better documented it before the listing changed. Not sure why it did. Apparently they maybe were getting a little too bold by claiming that everyone is looking for the Aerostar right now. But I don't think they're far off. I think a lot of people are looking. I certainly am. Okay, there you have it. Episode 94. I thought that was so cool, these two Aerostars, so I had to do them back to back. We are on a mini Canadian residency. Just in this one little radius up around Toronto, I found so many gems. Seems like there's a lot of nice Aerostars in Canada, and so we're going to talk about them. So stay tuned for those episodes coming up soon. We're marching towards 100 episodes of the Year of the Aerostar. I'm so excited that I'm stumbling over my words. And now we're getting very, very close to 600 subscribers. So super excited for that milestone here on Janky AF, a small, young, and growing channel. And we absolutely love your emails, your comments. We love interacting. Thank you for answering my last poll about the Aerostar truck. I will make an Aerostar truck one day. Seemed like that got a favorable response, so I appreciate that. And we'll do it all over again very soon. So this has been Year of the Aerostar here on Janky AF. Look forward to the next one. I certainly am. And until then, Janky do thanky.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.